Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I want to share something very personal, why I rarely talk to my neighbors. Have you ever felt uncomfortable around the people who live closest to you? Maybe they're too talkative, too noisy, or maybe it's just awkward. For me, interacting with neighbors has always been complicated. Some encounters are fine, but others leave me drained or anxious. I know I'm not the only one who feels this way, and I want to walk you through my experiences, my thoughts, and some strategies I've developed over the years. When I was younger, I always had neighbors who were either extremely friendly or extremely persistent. One evening around 9, my neighbor knocked on my door. "Hey! Can you help me real quick?" he asked. I replied, "Sure, what is it?" I didn't mind helping, but this was the third time that week, and it started to feel overwhelming. Another time, someone came over unannounced with snacks. The gesture was kind, but I was in the middle of something important and felt stressed. I think many of you can relate to this, having good intentions from neighbors but feeling pressure when it happens too often. Have you ever experienced that? How did you handle it? Social anxiety also plays a role. Some people feel drained by casual interactions while others find them enjoyable. For me, even small exchanges can be stressful if they occur frequently. Sometimes I try to greet neighbors in the hallway. "Hi," I say. "Hi. How are you?" they reply. And internally, I'm panicking. "I'm fine, good, yeah." Even a simple hello can feel like an intense effort on certain days. Boundaries are crucial. It's okay to limit contact. Saying no politely is not rude, it's necessary for mental well-being. Do you ever feel nervous just saying hello to someone you see regularly? Not all experiences are negative, of course. Sometimes neighbors are wonderful. One neighbor once brought me cookies. "Oh, thank you, that's so kind of you," I said. Simple gestures like this make life warmer, but balance is important. Too much attention can feel intrusive. Another story, a neighbor invited me to a party, and I politely declined, explaining that I wasn't feeling social. They were understanding, and that was a perfect interaction. Have you had experiences where someone respected your space and it made all the difference? Managing these interactions has required strategies. One method I use is leaving small notes instead of always speaking face to face. "Hi, I'm busy right now, but thank you for your message," can work wonders. Scheduling interactions also helps. If a neighbor wants to chat, I make sure it's at a time when I'm ready. Limiting small talk is another approach. You don't need to answer every knock or every message immediately. Humor can help reduce awkwardness. For example, a neighbor might ask, "Hey, do you have sugar?" And I might reply jokingly, "Only if you promise not to borrow my sanity too." Have you ever had to politely tell a neighbor no? How did it go? Do you prefer notes over short conversations, or the other way around? Of course, living near people comes with challenges beyond awkward social interactions. Noise can be a factor. Parties, dogs barking, or even kids playing loudly can become overwhelming if they happen repeatedly. Once, a group of neighbors had a late-night gathering, and the music was so loud I couldn't focus on work. I considered going over to complain, but I didn't want to create tension. Instead, I chose to wait until the next morning and politely mention it. That approach worked, but I realized that avoiding conflict is often better than forcing interactions, at least for me. Have you ever had to deal with something similar? How did you react? Sometimes the challenge is more subtle. Casual greetings in the hallway or elevator can feel like a performance. You want to appear friendly but not too open. "Hi," I say, trying to smile naturally. Hi. How are you? Someone asks. And suddenly you're mentally rehearsing what to say next. Do you ever notice yourself overthinking these short interactions? It's exhausting sometimes, and that's why I choose to limit them. On the positive side, I've learned to appreciate neighbors who respect boundaries. Small acts of kindness, like a wave from across the yard or a note saying, "Hope you're having a good day," can be meaningful without being intrusive. Balancing friendliness with personal space is key. I try to reciprocate in ways that feel comfortable, like leaving small gifts or messages when I feel like connecting. What about you? Do you have neighbors who know how to respect your space while still being friendly? I also realized that avoiding unnecessary stress is more important than appearing overly social. It's okay to decline invitations without feeling guilty. I usually smile and say, "Thanks for inviting me, but I'm going to stay in tonight," or "I have some work to finish, maybe another time." Most of the time, neighbors understand if you communicate honestly yet politely. Have you ever had to say no to someone and felt guilty about it? How did you manage? One method I found helpful is engaging in short but meaningful interactions instead of long chats. Even saying, "Good morning, hope you have a nice day," can create friendliness without draining energy. Observing how others interact has also helped me understand that each person has their own comfort zone. Not everyone enjoys constant communication. How do you handle these small daily social interactions? Do you limit them, or do you try to be friendly all the time? I also want to mention that respecting personal space isn't selfish. Maintaining mental health and comfort in your own home is essential. There were times when I tried to be overly social, and it left me exhausted. I realized that it's perfectly fine to set boundaries. Even small adjustments, like closing the door for a short break or putting on headphones, can help maintain peace without offending anyone. Finally, I'd love to hear your experiences. What's your neighbor story? Do you rarely talk to them like me, or are you the friendly type who greets everyone every day? Sharing these experiences can help us understand the balance between social interaction and personal space. Living near people can be complicated, but it doesn't have to be stressful if we learn to respect boundaries, communicate politely, and maintain our own comfort. Thank you for listening, and I hope my stories and thoughts have resonated with you. If you have similar experiences or tips, please share them in the comments. Let's discuss the joys and challenges of neighborly interactions and how to navigate them without feeling drained or overwhelmed.